Well, this video is all about sharing the journey. And if you've ever been camping or hiking with a group, you can always see who people really are. Usually there's some good things and usually there's some not so good things. And you got different personalities, right? You got the fire guy. It's a dude that always wants to start a fire. You usually have the cook, the person who can tell you how to cook a steak to perfection. Then you got the person who suggests all the crazy ideas, one right after another. And then you got the safety person who follows all the rules and complies and is always getting on to the crazy person. Then there's the person who always seems like they know everything about nature, right? They're teaching everybody else about all the different kinds of trees and plants and animals around them. What makes the camping trip so amazing is that everyone else is using their gifts and their passions to help the group as a whole. And this is exactly what God wants us to do in the church. In fact, the Bible talks about this in detail in 1 Corinthians chapter 12. And in the passage, it talks to a group of Christians and says that the church is like a body and that the different body parts are supposed to serve the other parts of the body. And here's the reality. You have a gift, and it's not just for you. It's to encourage other Christians in their faith. And as each person brings their gift to the group, it benefits the whole. And each of us are using these gifts is really an expression of love. And that's why the next chapter in 1 Corinthians is actually 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which is all about love. And so I want to encourage you, whatever gift you've got, you maybe have an administrative gift, or you got a gift to be friendly, or you got a gift to teach different people about the Bible, or maybe you got multiple gifts, but simply to use those gifts for God. Now, how can you do that? Well, I want to challenge you to do this. Let me encourage you to think about the things that come easy to you. What are the things that other people are telling you that you're good at? Write those down, then ask God how you can use those to bless others. Maybe ask your small group leader or pastor about opportunities that align with your gift in the church, and start serving God and watch God use you in a big way. And not only does God want to use you in this way, but he also wants us to share our financial resources. And the reality is that the early church did this. The first Christians started doing this. And it's in Acts chapter 2, and it says this: all the believers were together in one place, and they shared everything they had. They sold their property and possessions and shared the money with those in need. Acts chapter 2, verses 44 and 45. Now that's generosity when you share everything. And here's what is even more amazing, that these people hadn't been Christians very long, and yet they were so generous. It's incredible. And here's why they could be so generous with their money. It's because they knew how generous God had been with them first. Let's say that you're having a really good day, as an illustration, like a really good day, and you gave me your house. Okay, it just happened to be on the beach and also paid off. Then you gave me your car to go with it. It must have been a really, really good day, right? But a month later, you're not having such a great day, and you actually come on hard times, and you need a couple $100. If you ask me for some money, you know what I think I would say? I would say, of course. What's a couple $100 compared to what you've already given me? And here's something to remember. And an understanding of what we've been given produces generosity in our lives. Why? Because that understanding transforms our heart. This is why we can give the tithe, the 10% of our income. And maybe you've heard of the tithe before, but it's basically 10% of what you make. And this was a standard that was used by the people of God in the Old Testament and became the norm through the centuries for the church. And it's an act of obedience out of love and gratitude. Now that 10% might scare you, but don't let it. Instead, let it encourage you. Let me encourage you with this: to start being generous with your time, gifts, energy, and financial resources, and watch God bless you in return. And don't let that number or percent stop you. Start where you can now and watch as God shows you, as you are generous, that he's going to bless you. I'll finish this video with this verse in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 6. Remember this: a farmer who plants only a few seeds will get a small crop, but the one who plants generously will get a generous crop. This farming illustration the Bible talks about is about giving. And if we give generously, God will see that generosity and bless in proportion to that sacrifice. Look at what verse 10 says of that same chapter. For God is the one who produces seed for the farmer and then bread to eat. In the same way, he'll produce and increase your resources and then produce a great harvest of generosity in you. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 10. Now, sometimes that blessing is financial and sometimes it's not. Either way, you can know this: you can't outgive God, and your needs will always be met as you're generous to others. This is the reality of being generous. It's just what God does. I want to challenge you with this week. Try it. Give something. Let it stretch your faith. Be on the watch for God's blessing headed your way as you share on your journey. I encourage you to come out to the next video and watch it as we talk about inviting others with you on your journey. We'll see you there.